Hey guys, how's it going? It is 1:42 in the morning. That means it's time for a late night talk. So, what I wanted to talk about today is expectations. We all have them, we all set them, we all know what they are. We've all been let down by them before. And I mean, that's really the key of what I wanted to talk about. Lately, I've been doing a bunch of stuff, been filming a bunch of stuff. I had different ideas for how I wanted this video to go, but they didn't exactly pan out the way that I expected.
What the heck?
Expectations. So I had this idea to upgrade my wife's computer because it's kind of old and it's been slowing down lately, and that's something I've done many times. Upgrade my own computer, upgrade family's computers, etc. And things didn't go as planned, to put it simply. I thought it would be very easy and very simple, but it just seemed like everything that could go wrong kept going wrong over and over and over again, leading me to a spiraling pit of despair in which I ended up like this. Yeah, expectations led me there. Similarly, I have been practicing and learning a lot of golf lately, and each time I go to the range, I feel like I'm gonna be that much better, but every time I go out and actually play golf, not just practice my swing in the living room, I am humbled. Completely humbled. My expectations are always shot, and it makes the experience not as enjoyable as it could be, because I want to do better. I feel like I should be capable of doing more. I set my expectations too high. And so that's really what today's talk is about. It's about expectations, the way we set them, and the way that affects us. So what are expectations, right? We all have them about everything, about anything. We expect our day to go a certain way. We expect our food to taste a certain way. We expect a certain level of quality from the YouTube videos we consume, right? We expect that people will say certain things, people will act a certain way. We expect that we'll get better at golf. We expect that we can fix a computer. We expect we can make a YouTube video the way we want to. But it doesn't always work out that way. And this causes friction and suffering and makes us feel like failures, honestly. But why? Why do we feel that way? And why do we let ourselves feel that way as a result of our expectations? So here's the thing. Expectations are ideas in our mind. They are windows into the future that don't actually exist in reality. They exist only inside of our heads. They are these windows we build inside of our minds so that we can look out into the future and see this green grass, that is perfectly trimmed and looks gorgeous, and we know our lives will eventually be that way, and we're just waiting for reality to catch up to it. But herein lies the problem. This view, this window into the future, is exactly what I said before. It's a concept, it's an idea inside of our minds. The more that we think about the future and the more that we think about how we want things to go, the more that we craft this elaborate scene of how things could be, should be, would be, the way we want things to be eventually. And then inevitably, when we get there, when we do the thing, when we go to the range, when we fix the computer, when we shoot a video, and things don't go the way that we expect them to, we fall into this pit of despair. And we feel like failures. We feel like we didn't accomplish what we set out to achieve. And so we have this knee-jerk reaction to just let it get the better of us and to fall into these negative cycles, negative feedback loops. So I guess what I'm trying to say, why I made this video, is don't set your expectations. Stop setting them. Or if you're gonna set them manageably. Just understand that reality is not the way that you think it will be or could be. Reality just is. And the more that we create these notions in our mind about what we want and how we want things to be, the further and further away that gets from right now, the present moment. The more and more we think about what we want, what could be, what should be, the more we create this elaborate view and landscape of things in our mind that are beautiful and nice and happy. And then reality comes and just crushes it and makes us feel like we're shattered and all of our hopes and dreams are crushed. It's only that way because reality doesn't match up to our expectations. But that's all they are, expectations. They're ideas. They're windows that we've created. And reality has no reason to follow this. Our ideas and our conceptions are only created by our limited understanding and perception of reality and things around us. We can only actually perceive what we know of through our senses and our thoughts and our experiences. And that is such a limited and tiny, tiny slice of the totality of the universe around us. And we are so wrapped up in our egos and our minds and our heads that we think that our reality, our perception of reality, is the way that things really are, when that's not the case at all. Who are you really? Who are you? Who do you think you are? The way you think you are is different from the way your mom thinks you are, is different from the way your best friend thinks you are, is different from the way that random guy on the internet is trolling you thinks you are. Every single person has a different conception of themselves and the people around them. And in this way, our perception of life and our own self is limited. The interesting part about life is the genuine surprise of it all. If we knew everything that would happen, it would become boring. We wouldn't have anything else to do. But that's exactly what we're trying to do when we set our expectations for the way things should turn out. We feel like, okay, if my life could just go this way, then everything would be fine. But obviously that's not true, because even if things go exactly as you planned, it's still not exactly as you planned. Because really we all make these little concessions in our mind and we reform and reshape the narrative about what happened so that it feels like it met our expectations. And even when you do meet your expectations, then what? What's after that? What comes next? Is it more satisfying because everything went as you planned? Or are the best moments in life those where you are pleasantly surprised at the outcome? And so when we create these ideas and landscapes and concepts of the future in our mind, all we're doing is we're creating these imaginary ideas about how things should be if things were exactly as we wanted them to be. But of course, reality is not that way. And so if we could just stop living in this space, right? And start living more here, where things actually are, the way things actually are, the way that life is every second of every day, then we would live in accordance with the present moment and live in accordance with the way things really are. And there wouldn't be expectations that let us down and make us feel like failures. And so let me go back to this topic of golf again. It's just such a good metaphor for everything that I've learned lately. So the thing about golf is that it's a mental sport. As much as it is about practicing and learning your swing and learning the mechanics, learning the right techniques, it's more so about what's in your mind. What kind of shot do you want to create and how can you hit it well? Even the best golfers in the world don't hit the ball perfectly every single time. Any good golfer will tell you the game is about the misses more than it is about the good shots. What it comes down to is just getting up to that ball, teeing up your shot, and letting go. When you're standing over the ball, you can't have these expectations about how everything should go perfectly, and you can't try to guide the club as you're swinging down. It happens just too fast for that, and then you end up having a really poor swing the more that you think about it, because then you get too much in your head and it destroys the mechanics of the swing that you've built into your muscle memory. And so golf really comes back to your ability to understand the shot and execute it to the best of your ability. And what that means is lining everything up the way you know you have to and just letting go. You have to let your mind blank out and just swing through the ball and not worry about hitting it properly or guiding the club through the ball, because then it'll just go somewhere you're not expecting. It'll go way off, it'll go horribly wrong, and you'll wish you hadn't done that. The only way to really properly hit a good golf shot is to execute and not worry about the outcome. That's the only real way to play well. And that really is the key. It's the essence to living well. The more that we think about guiding our everyday actions, the more we think about controlling everything and making everything go a specific way and according to our plans and having everything align perfectly, the more we create these expectations and friction with the world around us. The more that we try and think about the way things should go, the more that reality becomes out of sync with those thoughts, because we're living in our mind. We're not living in the present reality. And so this dissonance between the two creates this gap that we want to be bridged some way so that our conception of reality and reality itself can link up and mesh and be exactly as we want it to be. But it's not that way. It will never be that way, because your mind is a limited perception of the reality around you. You know, I'm talking to the camera, I'm talking to you guys, but really, this is for myself. This is what I need to understand, what I need to get over. Every time I build up everything, it just builds and builds and builds and builds until inevitably, of course, reality will not meet those expectations. How could it possibly? I've crafted such an elaborate scenario in my mind that there's no way reality could live up to that. If I could just live right now and not build any of this junk, then there would be nothing to crush my hopes and everything would be perfect, exactly as it is, because I could understand and accept the reality and the present moment. It's something that I'm continually working on, and I wanted to share it with you guys because this Tim Talks was not entirely what I expected it would be, and filming didn't go the way I planned. So hopefully this makes sense to you guys. And like, what is this, right? What is Tim Talks? What is Tim Thoughts? What is this channel? What are the videos that I'm making? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what to expect. I'm not sure what you should expect. Don't expect anything. I'll try not to also. I'm just gonna be making the best videos to my ability, and I hope you guys like it. You can watch any of them or none of them. You can like, you can dislike, you can comment, you can not comment. Whatever it is, just don't put too much expectations on it, and I think we'll be fine. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that you have a good holiday. I know things are crazy this year, but again, don't expect too much, right? Just live right now. Live in the present moment and understand that things will come, things will go, time will pass, and everything will be as it is. And the only way that things get better or worse is through our own perception of it. So yeah, don't expect anything. Just live right now. That's the message I have for you guys. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope it made sense, and I hope that this was a somewhat entertaining, maybe informational, and hopefully helpful video. I love you guys. You're the best. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Looks like we'll come out the front here. There we go. Okay. Now I want. You can see it. There we go. There we go. That's the ticket.